this is Tracy HD, and I want to thank you for joining me for our daily Oracle and Tarot card reading. This is actually going to be the weekend reading, and this reading is going to cover Friday, January the 16th, Saturday the 17th, and Sunday the 18th. And as I shuffle the deck, I ask that all positive light beings, angels, and God, please give me the message that I need to relay to our viewers for the highest good of all. We choose a card from the center. And the card is Into the Woods. Beautiful, beautiful fairy here with a long flowing gown. She's standing in the woods. And the card reads, Stranger in a strange land, new experiences, feeling uncertain, transition zone. This is very synchronized with our Monday card of letting go, moving on, and detaching. Whenever we do something like that, it does feel strange at first. You feel lonely. You start doubting yourself. Did you make the right decision? Should I have done this? Should I have done that? Don't second guess yourself. You did the best with what you had at the time, and whatever decision you made to move on was something that had to be done for you to move on, start over, have a new beginning, out with the old, in with the new. This woman here is literally into the woods. She's going into the unknown. She's going into uncharted territory. But sometimes we have to do that. We have to do things that we're not exactly comfortable with in order to progress in our life. To me, into the woods means that you're going somewhere possibly that you've never gone before. Possibly going out on your own. Maybe like I said on Monday, you decided to leave someone that you were in a long-standing relationship with, and maybe you just stayed in that relationship because it was familiar. It was what you knew. It might not have been healthy. It might have been codependent. It may have been, not for your highest good whatsoever, but you stayed because it was all that you knew. And now that you've broken away from that, you're kind of off kilter. You're not exactly sure where you're going, what you're doing, what's going to happen next. You're kind of going into the woods. But with the Into the Woods card, you're going to get new experiences. You may feel apprehensive at first, but if we stay doing the same thing over and over and we're not getting the results that we want, it's time for us to change our approach. And sometimes it will be uncertain. Sometimes it will be uncomfortable. Sometimes you'll feel unsure. Sometimes you'll wish that you maybe didn't make that decision and you just stayed stuck. But trust me, this Into the Woods card is going to help you grow as a person. And this weekend, you may be feeling uncertain. You're in a transitional period. And like anything, when you're in a transition, it doesn't feel comfortable. You start feeling, very uneasy, anxious. But believe me, all of that will clear up. All of that will go away as each hour passes, as each day passes, as each month passes. Realize that you have to leave the things behind that are not for your highest good, or maybe even the highest good of the other person. This week to me makes me feel that there are a lot of breakups and changes going on in relationships. This is basically, this whole weekly reading was based on making the transition from the old and going into new uncharted territories, getting in touch with yourself, being appreciative for the small things in life. Instead of saying what went wrong or what is bad, think of what's going right and what is good. And, make a habit of doing that. Not to be in denial that everything is great, but focus on the positive. And again, like I always say, more positive things will show up. And this right here is telling us, we need to go into the woods. We need to experience things. We're going to feel growing pains. It's going to feel uneasy. You're going to almost be unsure of yourself. You're not going to feel comfortable. But, sometimes we got to go it alone. Sometimes we've got to strike out on our own to develop what matters to us the most. and to find out who we truly are. Sometimes being alone and going within is going to be the best way to move on to the next phase in our life. Sometimes we need some downtime, or we need to, spend time just, meditating, grounding ourselves, just having some quiet time to ourselves, and, try to get away from the activities of everyday life. When I look at this woman, she's beautiful. I don't think she's going to have any problem moving on. Transition. You got to go from one phase to the next. You got to transition from the old ways into the new ways that are going to be better, that are going to be healthier, that are going to be more productive. And then one of these days you're going to look back and you're going to say, why did it take me so long to make these changes in my life? If things aren't meant to be, they're not meant to be. And clinging on to the past and holding on to something that's not working, is not going to allow you to grow. It's not going to allow you to find the happiness that you could have if you're available and you're willing to be that stranger in the strange land. If you've enjoyed this reading, please subscribe to my channel, because I'll be back with many more. Take care.